Hi, thanks so much for being here. Welcome or welcome back. This video is about June planner plans, a little bit of a setup, and just mostly chatting about what my plans are. So if you're interested, I hope you stick around. As we get closer to the second half of the year, I am starting to think about my system, what's working, and I just want to get ready and prepared for when it is time to review and reflect on how my plans have evolved, not only the actual books, but the progress and goals that I set at the beginning of the year. One of the things that I like to start doing is just kind of thinking about the planners that I have been using, what's working, and what I want to either remove or include moving forward. Mostly I have been using this on-the-go pocket rings, which I've switched between my Motrin cover and my Filofax cover. This is something that I will continue to have in my system because it allows me to switch things around. Then we have the Common Planner B6, which has been my one and only catch-all planner for the entire year. I'm super content in this planner, and like I mentioned before, I even ordered a second one for 2026. And the only difference will be that the 2026 version will be the slim B6, so it should be an inch slimmer. I'm looking forward to that. As soon as I get it and I start playing with it and thinking about the setups and stuff like that, I will definitely share that with you in case you happen to be considering something similar. And then I have my Anecdote A5 planner, which I got in the mail as a collaboration with Anecdote. They were super nice to send me this one to review and test and offer my honest reviews, which I have been doing. I think I did an unboxing and then I did like how I was using it. If I still have those published, I will link them below in case you're interested. Anything I have published throughout the year is under one playlist. This time I decided to have one playlist for the entire 2025, and that way it's just easier to find and refer. I only publish about 4 or 5 videos a month, so it shouldn't be too long. I believe those are in there as well. So this one is the one that I've been using for content planning. As soon as I received it, I decided to use it for content because it is just so easy to help with brainstorming. It has plenty of space to plan around and to jot down notes and ideas. So I have been using it consistently since I got it. I think I got it on February. So you can see there's nothing here in January. It starts in February, then March, April, and this is the current month. I already pre-planned here for the month of June. A lot going on in here. I like that this only has the monthlies and dailies, so it's super helpful. I don't reach for the dailies since I don't plan content on a daily basis. Sometimes I do like to track my time, what I'm working on, and give me a little bit more structure for my day. But as you can see, I only use maybe 2 or 3 times the dailies. But I do like the setup. If this was my catch-all or one and only planner, this would definitely be super, full with information. But I truly just use it for those days that I need to hone in on the content and dedicate my day specifically for content. I started dedicating a specific day of the week for content, specific day for studying or for different areas of my life. That way I can focus on that one area for that day, and that should make it easier. We're still testing that approach, but so far it's working. So I will continue to include that as I continue to progress and learn how to apply it better. But yes, I haven't really used the dailies that much. As you can see, I did use it on this day. I can't remember the day, but I was planning on different things that I wanted to do for content. Mostly I just used this for the monthly overview, and that way I can see the whole thing in one place. I was planning content on my Common Planner, but then I decided that I needed more space, and then I got this one in the mail, so it was a no-brainer. I needed to move that out of there and just move it here. Also, because it's not something that I'm planning on archiving, it's okay that I just move it around since I don't plan on keeping the pages. These are the 3 that I use most often. I have been also using my pocket size notebook. This one I just randomly grabbed at the store and have been using it to jot down ideas regarding content and reviews, podcast reviews, book reviews. So there's a little bit of everything in here, but it's not necessarily a commonplace. So I do want to create a commonplace, which is something that I'm going to touch on soon. But this one has been around with me. I just kind of put it in here when I'm out and about or during the day, whatever I have any idea that pops out in my head. I just kind of grab the notebook from back here and jot down whatever idea I have and the points that I want to touch on. The other ones that I have been using are these. These are not necessarily like planning. This is only for my school. So Basically, what I do is review my class and the syllabus for the class I'm working on that month and write down when I want to turn in assignments and stuff like that. I started in 2024. This is an academic planner from Bloom. They also sent this to me last year to review, and it has been super, super helpful for my school. So definitely looking forward to getting another one for the next term. All I do is just come over here really on the month, write down the tasks and things that I have to do, just kind of get it out of my head and plan it out on how long I want to spend on one task specifically. It has been super helpful. This one is also let me just get this one out of the way. This one is also one that I use for school, so I can not really show you too much. I just use it for classes. Each one of these tabs is a class. The ones that are speaking out a little more are the current classes that I'm taking or focusing on. I just kind of come over here, go through my modules and books, take my own notes, and try to review the exams, areas that I want to review a little more or practice a little more and stuff like that. So that's definitely super helpful. These are actually blank pages that I kept from my Wonderland 222 A5 all-in-one that I got at the beginning of 2024. I was planning on moving to this one for my one and all, but then I discovered it was way too big for that. So I tossed the rest, but I kept the white pages on the back because they are super, super thin. This is Tomo River paper, so I can have plenty of paper in here for my school notes. And as you can see, it says link profile. So considering the same for next term, as soon as I'm done with these ones, I'm considering to either get a notebook from Wonderland 222 or Sterling King, one of those. That's what I'm thinking. I haven't really got that far since I still have plenty, but that's the plan. I do use these for school. So basically these two are my school books where I plan and take my notes. I also use this one. This one is from Grabby. It's one that they sent to me in one of the stationery boxes they sent for me to review as well. This one was the first one, I believe. I can't remember the actual name of the theme, but I love this little calendar. It's a foldable, as you can see. It's super cute, and I use it for my son's homeschool. It has the monthly overview up here where you can have the most important task for that specific month and then other to-dos, and it even has a tracker per month. So you have a tracker up here and then additional space for tasks for the month, and then you get your weeklies in the vertical format so you can plan your day. I shared with my son what I want him to work on and write it down for him to have a visual, and then he will use this to have a plan of his own on his school. So definitely super helpful, and it's super small, so I can leave it around on the desk and it doesn't take too much space. The other one that I use is this one. I don't know that I can show you too much in here. It's really just money. I got this notebook from Japan. I believe it is from, oh my goodness, I know, oh, Muji, I'm sorry. So it is from Muji. It is an A5 and it's loose paper. So the system is it's like a ring system, but it's the plastic all-in-one rings system, and this is how it works. You pull it apart and separate it, and then you can put all the paper that you need and close it back in. It is super handy. It's a little complicated to begin with because of the spacing and how it works, but it's kind of cute and I liked how it looked, so I grabbed the little bit of paper and then I grabbed the second stash of paper so I can make a thick notebook. I decided to use it to track my money. Basically what I do is write my expenses. This is from last year, so I just write my expenses per category and add them up, and it just helps me to have a visual of what areas I'm spending the most, what is my budget, what I would like my budget to be, and stuff like that. So definitely super helpful. I do have to update my pages for this month. I just pull this once or twice a month, around that, depending on how much, I think it's coming out of the account, coming in or out, and I update the tracking. It's a way for me to visually see what's happening in the account. So that's that. The other one that I want to include is to bring this one back to my active stash. This is a traveler's system from Moterm. I got this, 3 years ago, maybe. It's a traveler's notebook sort of system. I have a few inserts in here that I got while we were visiting Japan, and I haven't really used them. So I decided to set them up as my commonplace. The idea is that I will have a insert per topic. So I don't necessarily commonplace about too many topics. Mostly is about personal growth or mindset. Tarot, I like to commonplace learning about how to manifest, listen to intuition and stuff like that. And then marketing, I enjoy learning a little bit about marketing. How can I apply what I'm learning from school to my own business and stuff like that? So that'll be 3. And maybe I will add another one for creativity, but I'm not sure. I know that for sure I will have at least 3 going on at all times. The idea is that every time I think about something that I want to jot down, review, or reflect on, I will grab my insert and write down whatever it is I'm trying to commonplace. So that's the plan. Once I do all of that and start setting it up, I will do a separate video for that. If you're into the traveling notebook setups and stuff like that, you can join in for that. So that's basically it, what's going on. So basically for the second half of the year, I will be working on the same system that I have been working on so far, and then just adding this one for common placing. That way I can have everything in one place and organized and easy for me to remember, because or refer back to. Even though I don't consider this common placing, it will be difficult for me to refer back to. I have some reviews or thoughts about a podcast I was listening to, but unless I color code it somehow or do some tabs, I won't necessarily be able to find it quick. And once it is complete, it will be all mixed. Then once it is complete, I will put it away and it'll be hard for me to pull that back out. So I guess the idea on using actual inserts per topic is that I can eventually, once I start collecting more inserts on one topic, I can collect them all together in one place. That should be fun to start a collection on growth and development, mindset, tarot, and stuff like that. Whatever topics I decide to add in here and start collecting them together in one. I think that'll be neat. So that's what's going on, and that's what I've been using so far. The only thing that I'm changing will be this sort of new approach to common placing, but everything else will stay the same for the second half of the year. I'm content with it. So now that we've talked about that a little bit, I just wanted to talk about my plans for the month of June. If you have more time, I hope you stick around for it. Let's start with my main, which is the one where, I really plan everything that I want to work on and see what's coming up and how to organize it better. I'm not going to do a flip through of so far because I want to do that one separate. Basically, when I start planning for the next month, I do like to go back and see how my previous month went and decide on what worked, what didn't work, and what I'm planning on moving forward or removing and stuff like that. So I know that as far as decor, which I like to do before the month begin, I decided already that I want to dedicate it to the more mystic setup. So more moons and stars. So I went ahead and did the cover for the month of June for my dailies. And I also did my weekly setup already for the first week of the month in the same sort of colors. I didn't add like moons or anything. I'm planning on adding one maybe here, and I think something in here, maybe a quote or something down there. But yeah, that's pretty much the theme. As far as plans go, I do know that I want to approach it a little bit different. I have been trying, like I mentioned before, to plan by color coding my day, mainly. More specifically, talking about what area I want to focus on. For example, this week, I wanted to focus Monday and Tuesday for school, which is the color that I use for school is yellow. And then Wednesday and Thursday, I wanted to focus on content, which is the beige color. And then pink, it's anything that's personal. If I want to take the day off, color my hair, do my nails, whatever it is that is more personal, family time, me time, whatever it is, it's at least one day of the week. So that I'd want it to be on Friday. And then here I was tracking whether or not I did something about it in that area. So it's a way for me to see a visual of how much I worked on the area. And up here also the main area that I wanted to do. Like if I did it, I was going to highlight it, checked it off like this, or just kind of update it in some way, depending on what I did. Following that sort of approach, I wanted to set up my upcoming week. And this time around, I decided that instead of finding one thing to do for the day, I will definitely have a main item to get done on that specific day. I wanted to have a bigger visual because I think that having it like this, it's too small for me to pay attention to it. It's a way for me to kind of highlight it more. Like in here, I try to do it this way, but it just didn't really match with the plan for the week or for the day. I want this week to be a little bit more in your face. So for example, here Monday, Tuesday, I want to dedicate to school. So anything that has to do with school, either my school or my son's school. For content, I will be dedicating Wednesday and Thursday, and then personal day for on Friday. And then the weekend is always open. I do like to pre-schedule my media posts on Sundays. That way I know what I talked about the previous week and what I want to talk about the following week. So I just take a few hours on a Sunday and do that. It shouldn't really take too long because I take plenty of videos and pictures throughout the week, so I can use those to talk a little bit about what's going on for the following week. Hopefully this will help me to focus on one area per day, which is the area that I'm struggling with, because I do want to complete everything at the same time. So I think that just dedicating one day to one area only should help me to get more done, because even though I'm doing less on the day, I'm getting more done instead of being overwhelmed and not doing really anything. So this is how I want to set my entire month of June, at least, to get it started. This is my way of giving myself 30 days to try something new and a new approach, and hopefully making it work for me and tweaking it to see how it works. I do have other things that are going to start this month, like my internship. The second part of my internship begins on the 2nd. So that is more work I have to add to my school area related. So it's a standby to see how I'm gonna dedicate. Maybe I'll have to dedicate 3 days to my schoolwork instead of 2 only. So that's something that's still on the works, but at least the first week I wanted it to be like this. So I know that regardless of, on Wednesday and Thursdays, I try to do my content because that is the area of the week that is less hectic. Usually at the beginning of the week, we have a ton of things to do in different areas, so it's a little bit more complicated to manage my time. And then at the end of the week, it's close to the weekend, so you just kind of wind down and want to disconnect, so the energy kind of goes down. So I think that the middle of the week for my content creation and creativity and more energy and all that stuff, it's a little bit better. So I try to do that on Wednesday and Thursdays, either or. It doesn't have to be both days intense. It could be like Wednesday I do all my filming, and then Thursday I do editing and scheduling. So I did something similar in my content. I will show you soon. I want to have the same approach for the entire month of June. I do have a few things pre-planned for the month, a few appointments and things I want to work on. I want to have the color coding in the monthly. I don't know exactly how I'm going to do it because I do not necessarily want to cover the entire day. I want to differentiate things. For example, I have a meeting for my internship and that will be yellow instead of beige. So I want to have some kind of color code in here. So maybe I'll do like the little square where I can just update the status of it. And then maybe I can color code instead of days up here. I will color this one beige and beige, pink, and then yellows on these 2 days. That's the plan there. Then I will decorate and do my tracking, which is something that I always do. I try to track how intentional I've been with my day. As you can see, it hasn't been super good on May. And I guess April I started good, and then it just kind of went down. And this was up and down on March. And I think on February I did well. So yeah, I'll continue to add that tracker. And then for the sidebar, I was doing these little squares where I add the main area that I want to focus on for that specific week. But truly this month I did not pay attention to it. I don't know that I will add that again. See, and I did it here again. Same here, actually. I've been doing that for a few months. I might just do to-dos to kind of remember the main things that I want to accomplish for the month without giving it a specific week. I just want to come over here every Sunday when I sit down to plan and see where I'm at and see which ones I can tackle and go from there. So that's the plan for the overview of the month in here. Then I will do the same or similar approach in here. I don't necessarily have my inserts in here. I might do a separate video because I don't want this one to be way too long. I will do a different cover with the same theme of moons. I will do my monthly overview, and then I will have my monthlies like this. And in here, usually what I try to do is just to have my most important things to do for the day and just a reminder of what's going on for the month. So if I'm out and about, I can come over here and I know what's going on. In case I do have to schedule an appointment, I can quickly jot it down and then come back here to my main one and update it. Lately, what I've been reaching for the most is my dailies. So my weeklies and my dailies, because in my weeklies, I write down specifically what I'm working on that day. On my dailies, I try to have a tracking sort of answer method of what's going on the week and when did I actually get it done. And then lately I've been using these to-dos that I've got on a set that I ordered not too long ago. I will link it below in case you happen to be interested. This time around I ordered a set that comes with different setups. Like this one, I haven't found a place for that or a use for this one, but it's there. Also this one for finance tracking. It has these for reviews, and it has so many. It has square grid paper, blank pages. It has like a whole bunch of different layouts that you can adjust to whatever it is that you need. And lately I have been using this one to focus on the specific day. So for example, yesterday I wanted to do all of this, and every time I thought about something, I would write it down if I thought it was imperative that I got it done on that specific day. If not, then I would come over here if I had space and I'll add it to see when I could get it done. So most of the things did get done or started. And then from here, I'll pull for my actual day. This is an idea anyways. It might be too much of compartments, I guess, different parts to it. You don't necessarily have to do all of this. I just like to do it because I like to separate things in my head and visually so I can focus on one area at a time. But as far as June goes, I think I will do the same thing. I will have my monthlies, my weeklies, and my dailies. I think the only thing that might change is the weeklies, because I might instead have a running list of things to do, not necessarily per week, just whatever comes to mind. I might write it down in a blank page like this, and then from here I might pull it to the actual to-dos for the day. So I think that will be the approach for June, and see how that works. And then I wanted to show you how I am incorporating the color coding that I'm using for June in my content planning as well. Just went ahead and pre-planned my entire month of June, at least most of it. A lot of this stuff is written in erasable pen. That way, if anything changes, if I change my mind on a topic or something that I want to share, I would be able to erase it. But most of it, it's, you know, it's how I'm trying to kind of create a flow in my content. That's something I enjoy doing and I want to continue, but I also need to find ways to make it easier on me. So again, like I said, Wednesday and Thursday is going to be content focused. So either filming, editing videos, scheduling posts, or anything like that, reviewing items if I get any new items in the mail. The same thing will be for Sundays. So every other Sunday, I try to plan for at least 2 weeks in advance as far as my social media content, because I do like to have something going out at least once a day. Periodically, I go back, check comments and likes, and I interact with other users throughout the week. But as far as my posts, I like to pre-plan those. That way, I'm sure they will go out. I have some notes about my priorities, things I want to film and do, and other to-dos or ideas. I want to count my stats and any subscriptions that I have, like things and services that I pay for that has to do with my content creation, any ads that I am running, if any on the month, other trending topics that I might consider for the future, either for the month or the following month. On Saturdays, I do try to release videos that had to do with my planning and processes and stuff like that. On Mondays, I will be releasing my content on Patreon. So if you happen to be interested, I do have a lot of subscribers there that are part of the free membership site. On the free membership, I don't invest much time in creating freebies, which I might at some point. For now, I'm focusing more on the paid membership site because I do want to provide with value. So I try to share printables and things you can use to read and find them useful in your planning practice. So yeah, that's how I'm incorporating the color coding for the month of June. And the theme is going to be moons and stars and universe and more mystical. For the theme, I might just post more pictures once I get it going. For the travelers, I'm going to do a separate video. I might do a post for my main setup. So hopefully this video gave you an idea on what's going on in my planning system, how many planners I've been using, how I'm using them, how I'm separating areas to make it easy on me, and how I'm incorporating color coding for the following month for June. I hope you have found the video helpful and entertaining. If you have questions, comments, or suggestions, leave them in the comments below. Also, don't forget to like and subscribe. I've noticed that I think I have about 70% of my audience, it's not subscribed. So if you happen to find my content entertaining and something that you would like to continue seeing, I'll invite you to subscribe. And yeah, I hope that, again, you have found the video helpful and entertaining, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.